Please welcome our MC, Emmy Award-winning ABC television eyewitness news anchor, activist, advocate, and cherished supporter of UN Women, Shade Baruenwa.
Good morning, everyone. How are you? It is a pleasure to be here with you again here at the United Nations. Happy International Women's Day. I love all of the energy in the room and hearing all the women come here and talk about how important today is, and it really is important for us in so many ways. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, friends, and those of you who are joining us from around the world. On this International Women's Day, we gather at a crossroads for the future of women's rights, gender equality, and the empowerment of women and girls. A moment both urgent and filled with promise. Across the globe, the progress women have fought to achieve is being tested. Conflict, repression, and instability weaken the rule of law. And too often, women and girls pay the price. Yet every day, we see the leadership and courage of women pushing that progress forward. Today's conversation is about closing the gap between the rights women are promised and the justice that they actually experience. As I prepared for today, I spoke with women of different ages, navigating careers, families, and an uncertain world. And I asked them a simple question: how do women's rights feel to you right now? And one woman told me something that stayed with me. She said her mother talked about women's rights, her teachers talked about women's rights. In fact, she even went to a women's college. She grew up knowing what women's rights looked like. But now, she said, it doesn't feel like it anymore. And when she said that, I realized something. For the first time in a long time, many young women are questioning whether the progress they were promised is real, or is it slipping away? Women around the world are asking the same question: are we still moving forward? And the answer will be shaped by the choices we make right now. Progress does not move on its own. It moves because people insist that it must. And another woman told me something different, but just as revealing. She said, I often stay silent. I say yes, but I accept what's given to me. Not because she lacks ambition, not because she lacks confidence, but because over time, like many women, pushing back can begin to feel costly. And that stayed with me, because that's how erosion begins. Erosion rarely happens at once. Sometimes it happens quietly, in expectations lowered just a little, in opportunities not pursued, in voices that begin to wonder whether speaking up is even worth the cost. And when women begin to feel that way, when they begin accepting less than what they deserve, that's when we have to push back. And that's when moments like this matter. Around the world, women continue to show remarkable resilience. But resilience should not be mistaken for justice. Resilience is what women build when justice fails them. So the question should not only be how resilient women are. The question is, why must they be resilient in the first place? And when justice fails, action becomes unavoidable. Action does not only belong to governments or to courtrooms, action belongs to every one of us, including the leaders and decision makers in this room right now, where policies, laws, and investments shape the lives of women and girls every day. What you do determines whether opportunity expands or contracts, whether a mother can build a better life for herself and her children. So today, we will hear from people who show us what action looks like in the real world, what's happening on the ground. We will hear about the courage of a 15-year-old girl who lived where girls were not meant to go to school. And yet, every morning, she boarded her school bus. Every morning, she chose education. She chose courage. Until one day, a gunman boarded that bus. And he asked a chilling question. Who is Malala? And then he fired. The young girl they tried to silence survived and used her voice to champion the education of girls around the world. You know who I'm talking about, Malala Yousafzai, and she is here with us today. And there are many stories like hers that we're going to hear about today. So let us begin today's conversation and the work ahead. Please join me in welcoming Her Excellency, Ms. Annalena Baerbock, to speak on behalf of the UN member states. Thank you.
Good morning, dear Executive Director of UN Women, Bahous, CDC Rattray, ministers, excellencies, goodwill ambassadors, especially ladies and girls all around the world. We have heard it all. When a woman raises her voice, she's too emotional. When she stands her ground, she's difficult. When she leads, she's too ambitious. If she wears dark suits, they whisper, "Why does she always look like a man?" But oh my gosh, if she shows up in colorful dresses and high heels. When women lead nations through crises, they are lucky. Yet, if they stumble, it becomes the biggest crisis on earth. Yes, we have heard it all, as have generations of women before us. Even more directly, and with this tone, you act like a woman, you run like a girl, as if it is something to be ashamed of. Yes, yet history has proved otherwise. The facts are crystal clear. We don't have to negotiate them again. When girls remain in school, economies grow all over the world. When women participate in the workforce, productivity rises all around the world. When women sit at peace tables, agreements last longer all around the world. When women lead institutions, they are more resilient. So ladies, it's time to flip the narrative. Today we are reclaiming like a woman, boldly and proudly. As sports star Serena Williams once said, "You call us crazy, we'll show you what crazy can do." Win like a woman, lead like a woman, change like a woman. Especially in the midst of backlash, when it can feel as though we are forced to fight the same old battles again and again. Battles from 80 years ago, when another so-called difficult woman, Dr. Hansa Mehta from India, showed what change like a woman can achieve. By insisting to change one single word in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. She changed the whole meaning of it, affirming that all human beings, and not only men, are born free and equal in dignity and rights. So, dear Excellencies, especially dear girls out there, Next time they tell you again that gender-sensitive language or standing up for your reproductive rights is something so-called woke, resist like a woman, resist like Hansa Mehta, and remind them that women's rights are nothing new, but have been embedded in the DNA of this institution from the very beginning. And marking International Women's Day in 2026, like a woman, means that we will not stop fighting for equal representation and women's rights. Indeed, like a woman, empathic and ambitious, in suits and in colorful dresses, until the women of Afghanistan are free and girls worldwide are not being forced anymore to marry before they finish school. Until we see justice for survivors of sexual abuse, whether it occurs at home or as part of exploitive sexual slavery networks as exposed in the Epstein files. Until women are equally paid and represented, whether in newsrooms, in boardrooms, in governments, and yes, at the helm of this institution, our United Nations.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Yes, let's flip the narrative. As we have heard, when justice fails, women pay the price. Yet justice is also the pathway to power. And without justice, rights are only words. With justice, rights become real. That's why on this International Women's Day, we're calling for rights, justice, action for all women and girls, and to stand with women's movements worldwide, advancing equality and law in life. It is now my honor to invite you to view a special video address from United Nations Secretary General, Mr. Antonio Guterres. Though he could not join us in person today, he has prepared thoughtful remarks for this important occasion. Following the video, Mr. Earl Courtney Rattray, Chef de Cabinet of the Executive Office of the Secretary General, will present the Secretary General's official written statement, ensuring his message and commitment resonate with all of us gathered here today.
Women's rights are human rights, and investing in women and girls is one of the surest ways to make the world a better place.
When women are involved in negotiating peace, agreements last longer.
Women in tech make digital tools more inclusive.
Women in government are more likely to pass climate-friendly policies.
When women have access to decent jobs and inclusive workplaces, our economies grow.
And educating girls can unlock the brain power we need to tackle every issue on earth.
Girls can do anything, and they deserve a chance.
We need rights, equality, and empowerment for all women and girls.
And we need women everywhere to be free from violence and fear.
In sport,
in politics,
in peace and peacemaking,
in healthcare,
in science,
and in the stories we tell on screen.
Just look at the young women leading climate movement across the globe.
Women and girls are claiming their power.
When we invest in women, in girls, life gets better for men and boys too.
Life gets better for people with disabilities.
For care workers.
For the planet.
For children.
For parents.
For justice.
Для меня.
Para mí.
为自己.
Pour moi.
ولي أنا أيضا.
Women and girls are changing the world. It's time to change the world for women and girls.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, good morning and a warm welcome to UNHQ here in New York. As you just heard, the Secretary General will be with us shortly for the opening of the Commission on the Status of Women. But in the meantime, I am honored to represent him and to share a few reflections. Today we celebrate the advances achieved for us all by the world's women and girls. As you well know, this progress did not happen by chance. It was forged through determination, dedication, resilience, and creativity, and through courageous women who refused to accept the barriers placed before them. This year's theme, Rights, Justice, Action for All Women and Girls, reminds us both of how far we have come and how far we must still go to achieve gender equality. Despite widespread recognition of women's rights, as you just heard, access to justice remains deeply unequal. Around the world, women and girls still hold only a fraction of the legal rights afforded to men. Discriminatory laws and practices continue to fail the very women and girls they are meant to serve through bias, under-resourcing, silence, and through impunity. Ladies and gentlemen, this moment right now demands action. Action to dismantle discriminatory laws that deny women and girls equal rights. Action to strengthen justice systems so survivors are protected, perpetrators are held accountable, and legal assistance is accessible to all. And action to ensure women's full, equal, and meaningful leadership and participation in decision-making at every level and in all walks of life, including within justice systems. Gender parity is not only a moral imperative, it is essential for a more just, peaceful, and sustainable future. To quote from the Secretary General's message on International Women's Day, "When we are not equal under the law, we are not equal. It is time to make justice a reality for women and girls everywhere." More than 50 years after the first International Women's Day, the movement remains a powerful force for change. But progress is neither automatic nor irreversible. It must be defended. It must be renewed and accelerated. So to everyone in this room who has helped drive that progress, we thank you and we stand by your side. Together, let us sustain this momentum and deliver equality and justice for every woman and girl. Thank you very much.
Mr. Rattray, thank you so much. Well, taking action for justice requires us to be fearless. In a world where we often see indifference to discrimination, notable women demonstrate leadership through fearlessly advocating for their principles. As we honor the spirit of International Women's Day, let's recognize those who make justice their mission, who never step back. And now, it is my honor to introduce Grammy Award-winning singer-songwriter, actress, and mental health advocate, oh, you guys are in for a treat, who many of you may have recently seen on Broadway, Michelle Williams, whose performance of her song Fearless really captures this spirit. Michelle.
Good morning. Life is a runaway, running out every day. You can take a bow, or you can love it anyhow. I know you're scared of heights, but take the jump anyway. And you won't regret it, no. into the lowest of lows, there's still a place you can go, and you won't regret it, no, 'cause there's a passion moving at the speed of light. We're fighting the challenge of troubles deep inside. Every nation standing side by side, who don't mind giving with the best of life, because we're fearless. I am fearless. I am fearless. There's no place we can't go. I am fearless. All right, y'all, I need you to clap your hands with me. Let's go. It's yours, reach up and grab it. The dream's yours, you're meant to have it. It's yours, reach up. Come on, that sounds so good. It's yours, you're meant to have it. The dream's yours, have it. You're meant to have it. The dream's yours, 'cause there's a passion moving at the speed of light. We're fighting some challenges with troubles deep inside. Every nation standing side by side that don't mind giving. We're giving the best of us. I am fearless. You are fearless. There's no place you can't go. I am fearless.
You have to be fearless to sing at 9 in the morning. You also have to be fearless. You're dressed up, you're looking good. Some of you probably are what we would call jet lagged, but you are here, and I am just really, truly humbled. So again, good morning. Thank you to UN Women, UN Foundation, and all of you here in this incredible assembly. And thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to be here today. We are all here for one purpose, to elevate, defend, and advance the rights of all girls and women everywhere. I believe, and I've experienced this, I know that perfect love casts out all fear. That's the song I just performed. It's all about that. To rise above the fear, to stand for what is right despite all the reasons to be fearful. I am truly, again, humbled to stand here with you today. I was raised in Rockford, Illinois, by a strong woman. She told me when I was younger, these are her words verbatim, "You come from a strong lineage of women." And as I look back on that statement, I realize it's a privilege, but I also realize how it's also threatening. But girls must be told about their strength, and their strength needs to be encouraged and celebrated. Our world could be so much better and further along if people realize and accept that women and girls are capable of many, many things. Sorry, fellas, but sometimes we also do things better. Just love y'all. I love you a lot. As Seema Bahous, Executive Director of UN Women, says, "This is not the moment to pull back. It is the moment to step forward. UN Women will continue to push for progress. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Michelle. Let's give her another round of applause. Powerful song. Fearless in our quest for equality. Well, now let's hear from courageous women who embody the spirit of fearless action. These leaders refuse to let justice remain a distant dream and are determined to make it a living reality for everyone. Their resolve, their passion, and commitment inspire us all to stand up, speak out, and forge a world defined by fairness and equality. Well, together, they light the path towards a future where justice is not just imagined, but it's actually achieved. And it is my pleasure to introduce to you to one of those leaders, Under-Secretary General and the Executive Director of UN Women, Sima Bahous.
Good morning, everyone. Madam President of the United Nations General Assembly, Your Excellency Anna-Lena Baerbock, Madam Chair of the Commission of the Status of Women, Your Excellency Ambassador Maritza Chan Valverde, CDC, Excellency Courtney Rattray, Excellencies, Ministers, distinguished delegates, UN colleagues, honored guests and speakers, ladies and gentlemen, all feminists in the House. Welcome to this year's commemoration of International Women's Day. On your behalf, I would like to thank Michelle for bringing her inspirational, beautiful voice to this General Assembly Hall and for launching us so perfectly towards fearless progress. Thank you, Michelle. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, International Women's Day is a celebration recognizing all that has been achieved across generations and nations for women's empowerment and gender equality. It is about appreciation of the talents and energies of women and girls everywhere, their courage, their resilience, their contributions, and their leadership. It is about bravery and determination, about our refusal to accept a pushback against gender equality, whether in our communities, online, or in the work of these United Nations. A pushback ever more virulent and adaptable that seeks to undo our achievements and those of feminists before us. In its face, we do not back down. We redouble our efforts. We rise higher. Excellencies, friends, this year we focus on justice, the non-negotiable foundation of rights. Because despite the many strides forward towards equality and justice, for too many women and girls, justice is selective, inaccessible, and denied. Globally, no country meets its duty of full legal equality for women and girls. Excellencies, Women's Day is about change, joining our voices in an unwavering call for something better. This year, it is for justice systems that are financed appropriately, serve women and girls equally, and recognize the rights of survivors. Justice systems that are founded on data and evidence, that embrace the opportunities while avoiding the risks of technology, and that are supported by the formidable energies of well-funded women's organizations and civil society. Excellencies, friends, be in no doubt, equality is within our reach. It is close. And I believe all of us here will have the great good fortune not only to work for it, but to witness it too. International Women's Day brings together a movement rich in history, yet profoundly contemporary, one that looks to a future of equality, a better future and a better present, not just for women and girls, but for all humanity. A future and a present that are founded on rights, on justice, and critically, a life free from violence, a life lived in peace for all women and girls everywhere. That is what we celebrate today. It is why we inspire through action and words, why we are unbending in the face of pressure. It is why we are. I wish you all a happy and inspiring International Women's Day 2026, and I thank you. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, it is now my great pleasure and honor to welcome to the stage our Oscar-winning guest and long-standing UN Women Goodwill Ambassador, Ms. Anne Hathaway. Anne is a passionate and steadfast champion for the rights of women and girls. Thank you, Anne, for being with us this morning. Please join me in welcoming Anne to the stage.
Thanks, boss. Hello. What an honor it is for me to be here with you today on behalf of UN Women, to find myself once again in the privileged position of adding my voice to the ever-expanding chorus of those who celebrate International Women's Day. I'm sure I don't need to tell you that this is a strange, thorny moment in the world. It's very confusing to try and bridge what's actually going on out there versus what we hope to achieve in here. It's hard to bear the knowledge that the distance between the promise of equality and the experience of it are yet still so far apart for so many. It's hard knowing that this day, which is meant to celebrate women, must yet still be about how unsafe it is to be a woman, even less safe to be a girl. Are we not all tormented that societal progress for women has in large part been in response to extreme gender violence? Are we not tormented by what women like Giselle Pellicot, Virginia Giuffre, and Malala Yousafzai, to name three amongst half the world, have had to endure? These women and girls had the bravery to demand justice when horrific violence was forced on them, and in doing so, by honoring their own right to dignity, changed the world. Are we not tormented by this cost of change? Amid all this pain, all this proof of inequality, all this proof of the stubborn imbalance of justice, do we really dare celebrate? Well, it's just my opinion, but yes. Yes, we absolutely do. It is absolutely our honor to celebrate the courage and power of the women who would not be denied their justice because they chose action in a world that expects silence. We celebrate their defiance, and we, in turn, are defiant in celebration. We come together today under complicated skies, and yet we celebrate our generations of warriors who, either by seemingly small individual actions or sweeping government and societal reform, have stayed focused on the true goal of justice for all. Our fighters have been the cornerstone of accountability as political landscapes have changed and as power players have shifted. They have kept the momentum of progress moving forward to all corners of the world, progress which we know can be devastatingly slow, but which is weaving together across time and space, making the lives, rights, and dignity of women and girls more equal in opportunity, more equal in safety, economic empowerment, and freedom to those historically favored. Their work has laid the path for gender equality, which we proudly walk today together, a path which we pray will lead to the peace of future generations. We celebrate the fact that strong, autonomous, feminist movements are among the most consistent predictors of government action to address violence against women. We celebrate that we have come far enough to have evidence to prove that fact. We grieve that there is yet so much evidence of the necessity of this work. We celebrate, yes. We grieve as well. But no matter what, we keep going until it's done. Today, we come together in tribute to the hope and work and the grit of those who have not yielded to cynicism, who leave the candle of our collective faith in the importance of justice ever lit. And with every person who commits to ending gender-based violence in the physical and digital worlds, who commits to championing women's economic empowerment, who demonstrates authentic communication by listening and uplifting the voices of the unheard, and in doing so, blunts the danger of silence and self-censorship. To every person that does that, here, and up there, and out there, the flame grows stronger, and our experience of being human brighter. Friends, our choosing to celebrate today does not signal that we are here to accommodate injustice. No. Our celebration today affirms our determination to outlast it. Don't make us wait. Please. Happy International Women's Day.
And thank you so much. Thank you for using your voice. And Seema, thank you for always leading the charge. You know, I mentioned about an incredible story, and there's so many stories today, and it really is an honor to welcome our next guest because, you know, as adults, you are forced to become just out of life, out of the hardships of life, to be courageous, right? But I think when you are young, at the age of 15 to be courageous, when you are told you cannot go to school, you will not go to school, and if you do, well, you're going to pay the price. And one young girl paid the price, just 15 years old. And instead of being silenced, she said, I'm going to use my voice, not only here, not only am I going to inspire the young girls around me, I'm going to inspire the world. And she has done that. Please join me in welcoming Malala Yousafzai, co-founder and executive chair of the Malala Fund, a Nobel Peace Prize laureate and author. Malala's advocacy has helped transform the global conversation on girls' education and the rights of women and girls around the world. Her courage and unwavering voice continue to inspire people everywhere to stand up. for equality and justice. And as Malala takes the stage, we're first going to hear from girls themselves in a short video highlighting Afghan girls and their undaunted pursuit of freedom.
For me, freedom means waking up every day and being able to move towards my dream without fear.
I decided that I would not let fear dictate my future. It is the right to walk outside without fear, to learn without barriers.
It means being able to continue my education.
I opened my book. Despite the threats and fears, I felt the power within me.
My dream is to bring the light of education into every single home in Afghanistan.
I found courage when I spoke my truth, even as my voice trembled. Power is the persistence to keep going even when the road is hard.
I find hope in the belief that change is slow, but it is possible.
My dream is to keep learning for all of the Afghan girls.
Knowledge is power, and no one should take that from us.
Please welcome Malala Yousafzai.
Thank you to the panelists, to the member state representatives, and to the advocates gathered here today. 13 years ago, I first spoke in this hall. I have stood here before you many times since then, urging leaders to take action for girls around the world. For a long time, I believed that my voice could make a difference, that things would change. But today, I stand here heartbroken. Never have I seen so many children suffering from war and violence, injured and dying at the hands of unaccountable leaders. I am devastated for families in Iran whose daughters left for school and did not return home. For parents in Gaza who buried their children beneath the rubble of their classrooms. For Afghan girls living under the brutal Taliban regime for nearly 5 years. You will be hearing a lot this week about access to justice. But true justice does not defend the humanity of children in one place and ignore it in another. It is not selectively applied. It does not claim that our rights are dependent on where we were born or what is politically safe for the people in this room. Under international law, killing children in their classrooms is a war crime. When civilians are deprived of food, water, medicine, and shelter, the law obligates states to act. Looking around the world today, we must ask ourselves why justice is privilege. We must ask ourselves why justice is a privilege extended to some and withheld from others. Why is it wide enough to reach to girls in Minab, Jabalia, or Kandahar? Globally, we are witnessing a backlash against women and girls. These women and girls have fought for generations to gain their rights. And nowhere is that more evident than Afghanistan. Since the Taliban took over the country in 2021, they have controlled courts, the police, and public institutions. And they have used their power to abuse women and girls. Girls cannot go to secondary school or university. Women cannot go to work, leave their homes without a male chaperone, or even speak in public. The list goes on and on. No sports, no nail polish, no singing, no reciting poetry. Women and girls cannot be treated by a male doctor and are not allowed to train to become doctors themselves. In Afghanistan today, it is legal for a man to beat his wife or daughter. I recently spoke on the phone with an Afghan girl. When I go to my room and read a book, she said, it feels like I am defying the Taliban. She is one of the millions for whom simply existing has become an act of courage. For nearly 5 years now, the Taliban have been erasing women and girls from public life. And the world has responded by looking away or by excusing the abuses of the Taliban under the banners of culture or religion. This is not culture. It is not religion. It is a system of segregation and domination. We must call the regime in Afghanistan by its true name, gender apartheid. And we must explicitly recognize it as a crime under international law. By codifying gender apartheid, we can protect women and girls and prevent these atrocities from happening for another generation. It is not enough to grieve for those who are suffering. We must move from sympathy to accountability. Afghan women are not asking for military intervention. They're not asking to be saved. They are asking for recognition in law so that the long work of justice can begin. So I ask the member states in this room, how long will you allow the law to stand still while injustice evolves? 13 years ago, I believed that speaking in this hall would be enough. Today I know that speeches do not protect girls. But law, accountability, and political courage can. You have all three within your reach. Now is the time to use them. Thank you.
Malala, thank you for continuing to be so strong and using your voice the way that you do. You know, now I'm going to invite to the rostrum Ms. Sumbul Reha. She's a young Afghan woman. She's a singer and a musician to share with us her global call to action on behalf of all women and girls. And her presence reflects the resilience, the cultural strength, and determination of Afghan girls and women whose rights to learn, create, and participate in public life have been systematically stripped away. More than that, she represents today for us her global call that all women and girls whose lives fuel our determination to see their rights fulfilled, justice served, action bringing us to a better world. Ms. Reha is going to join us, and I have to say, she's such a poised young woman. And we are all gathered here, and we're thinking about women's rights. But for some women in some regions of the world, this is a real issue. Where Ms. Reha is, children are not allowed to have an education, that they are stripped of learning, of growing, and becoming active members in a powerful way. I had a moment to get with her and pardon her because these are all emotional moments. for Malala to be here. There was an emotional, real journey that she had to get through here. And while we are all giving our speeches, these moments are really important. And for Ms. Sumbul, she said, when she's at home, there are classmates that can't have an education, that there are women who are stripped of their rights. So today really means something. One of her calls is never give up, chase your dreams. Well, she's chasing her dreams and the dreams of so many other students and young women in Afghanistan. So please, let's welcome her and give her a round of applause for support.
Good morning. Thank you, Malala, for all you do to inspire change in this world. My name is Sumbul Raha. I'm a student and a musician. Music is my life, and it once flourished in Afghanistan. I know what it means when a girl's voice is silenced. I have lived it. Too many of our sisters around the world face daily fear, insecurity, and violence. Thousands of girls being denied from going to school. Women are being brutalized for speaking up. Our bodies are being violated. Rights that took generations to win are evaporating before our eyes. And still, I remain hopeful because girls like me are still learning. I'm now in college, continuing my music. Women continue to speak out for their rights, and young people everywhere refuse to give up the fight. We are undaunted. We will not stop. We have hope. And you, the delegates in this room, have more than hope. You have the power to act. So I ask you, protect a girl's right to an education. Defend a woman's right to speak out safely and without retaliation. Fight to block the erosion of our progress. There are millions of girls who stand here in spirit with me. They're counting on all of us, and they're counting on all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sumbul. So courageous, and your voice matters in these halls. And delegate, she's right. We need you. Your policies, your decisions, the budgets allocated, the laws that are enacted, we need you. Well, Sumbul, your global call to action, I think it really, truly rings out as a rallying cry for change, urging us all to rise up together and shape a future where every girl's and every woman's voice is heard and that it's valued. Our speakers have reminded us that it is our rights that give wings to our hope and justice that anchors both. But ensuring that every girl can learn, lead, and thrive, we lay the groundwork for a world where justice is not a privilege for the few, but a promise to be kept for all. Rights, justice, action, for all women and girls. So with deep appreciation, we recognize every person gathered at the United Nations General Assembly and those joining us from across the continents and time zones. As this commemoration draws to a close, let us commit to marking it by the bold steps we take together to ensure equal justice for all women and girls. Now, in closing, it is my honor to invite to the rostrum Her Excellency, Ms. Maritza Chan Valverde, Permanent Representative of Costa Rica and the chair of the 70th session of the Commission on the Status of Women. And with her leadership, we conclude today's commemoration, carrying forward the torch that lights the way for generations to come. And together, let us transform aspirations into action and dreams and to realities for all women and girls. Thank you so much.
Excellencies, distinguished delegates, honored guests, my dear friends, we came here to commemorate, and we're leaving with something harder to carry: responsibility. Symbol and every woman who spoke to us today carried a single message. Behind every statistic is a life. Behind every negotiating position is a woman and girl waiting to see if we mean what we say. Women's right to generations to win. Across this commission, in every capital and every chamber, the same question will be asked: did we deliver? The answer depends on one thing: political will, your will. Women and girls are the connecting thread to peace, to development, to justice. We cannot build any of the futures we are here to defend without putting them at the center of it. We heard today what fearlessness sounds like, what solidarity looks like when it stands up and refuses to be quiet. We carry that out of this hall. Carry this energy, this determination, and this shared purpose into the world that begins now with the 70th session of the Commission on the Status of Women. I warmly invite you to remain in the room and with us. I thank you.